What's happening? What's happening? What is happening? I'm your man OG Truth with a two Hertz with a Z coming back off vacation, and it was a good one. Um, First thing first, make sure you hit them buttons, like us, share us, subscribe to us. Um, Happy Monday. Got a real busy week, sports wise, and we're gonna tackle a couple of topics this morning before I hand it over to OG Big Sam with Monday with the showstopper. Um, First off, our Braves, Sherman Wood, what's going on? Southside, what's happening? Sonya Howard, what's going on? Um, our Braves dropped one last night to the world champion Texas Rangers, taking 2 out of 3 in the series. Um, their record dropped to 14-6, but it still remains the best record in baseball. The Braves just keep on keeping on. They One guy goes down, next guy steps up. Um, they got hit with the injury bug a little bit. Spencer Strider out for the season with a UCL tear, but great news on that front. He doesn't have to have Tommy John surgery. He is still out for the season, but that's a significantly good news that he doesn't have to go under the knife like that. Ozzy Albies going to probably be out for another maybe 3 weeks with a broke toe. But Luis Guillorme, I think his name is Guillorme, has filled in well for him. Also, Sean Murphy is out for the foreseeable future with an oblique. But Travis Ruth, I'm going to start calling him Travis Ruth, hit 4 over the weekend. He hit 3 Friday night, and he hit 1 again on Saturday. So the Braves are okay. Starting pitching is, yeah. They're hitting the baseball. Best offense in baseball right now. And that bullpen, the back end of that bullpen is almost lights out. So 14-6 after first 20 games, it equates to 114-48 over 162 games. So I'll take that right now as a Brave fan. Marcell Ozuna been swinging a pretty hot bat. Had a 17-game hitting streak snapped on Saturday. And what he do Sunday? He hit a 3-run shot. So Marcell Ozuna is locked in early. Good for him. He ain't got no women problems and he ain't got no DUIs. So it bodes well for the Braves that he's starting out hot. Usually he starts out, he be missing in action for like the first 30 to 45 days of the season. And then he'll turn it on late. And he was like that last year, and he had a 40-homer, 100 RBI campaign. So the sky's the limit for Marcell so far this year. We're going to also talk Falcons and Hawks. Let's get the Falcons part out the way. NFL draft is Thursday. Right now, and a key thing I'm saying is right now we hold the 8th pick. I don't know what direction we're going in. There are multiple endless possibilities. I'm not going to go too hard on the analytical part of it. And I would think that's probably the sentiments of the entire crew here. We just gonna tackle whatever we do this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We'll discuss it and chop it up about it next week. Now, getting to this pick, or reason why I say it for now, is because it appears that the NFL has found the Falcons liable for tampering with Kirk Cousins. Kirk shouldn't have talked to the manager. I said I see a few people going in on for Kirk for opening his big mouth. He probably opened his mouth because he didn't think nothing was fucking wrong. And to me, I think this is some frivolous bullshit. But hey, right is right, wrong is wrong. We got to accept punishment, then go on and just get it on out the way and get it over with. And one of the options, which is the least likely to happen, in fact, I don't think nothing's going to happen this year at all, is a pick swap with Minnesota, since they so butthurt off this. They so toe up that they didn't want to keep Kirk Cousins. They didn't want to offer him the money. But they pick 11th and we pick 8th. But more than likely, the punishment is going to be levied next year, and probably lose a 3rd or maybe a 4th round pick. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We'll worry about it then. Now let's go ahead on and get into it. That Southside. The Atlanta Hawks season ended last Wednesday. This past Wednesday, we were the 10 seed. Went into Chicago. Played the 9 seed Bulls, and that was an extremely disappointing end to a disappointing season. A lot of people blame injuries, but I just mentioned how the Braves handle their injuries, and the OG and I tomorrow on the Realistic OGs, we're gonna discuss the exit interviews, and it was some pretty interesting things said by a few of the players in the exit interviews, and one of the points that was hit on was talking about injuries. So we'll go into that portion tomorrow. Here is the skin of it. It ain't working. We gave it a try, and now some drastic, not tweaking, drastic changes needs to be made with this roster. I don't know how all these heads in the front office that they got. You got a general manager, you got assistant general manager, assistant got an assistant, and they got 2 more people up there. which is mind-blowing. The Hawks don't have much draft capital. So right now we got a 10 pick. Major moves need to be made in order to recoup some draft capital. And if you go, especially if you decide to blow it up and go into a rebuild, you're going to get picks back. Naturally, the elephant in the room is Trae Young. Trae had another offensively. He had another solid season. Averaged 26 and a half, 10, a little bit over 10 assists a game. But there's a clear issue when it comes to him. I'll go into that in a minute. Whatever goes on, that particular backcourt can't start together moving forward. You can't bring one of them off the bench, as somebody suggested. That's not realistic. One of them needs to be moved. Preferably for me, it should be Trae Young. But being that I know that Tony Ressler probably too chicken shit to trade Trae Young, because quite frankly and honestly, Trae Young turning money for the organization, folks going down to that State Farm Arena to see Trae Young. So as a fan, I'll get it if you don't trade him. I'll get it. But it has to be either Trae Young or DeJounte Murray, not both of them. I would hate to see DeJounte Murray go, but we can't go further with that two-guard system. It's not working, and it's mind-boggling that it's actually a few of my fellow Hawk fans who feel like they think it can still work. That is crazy. Pat, what's going on? Injuries, bad front office moves, and decisions is the reason for. I mean, every team have injuries. Every team have injuries. But injuries can play a part. Bad front office moves. See, this is the part I was talking about on my video yesterday. Or I talked about this a little bit this morning in one of the Hawks groups on Facebook. Shout out to New Pack City, Atlanta Hawks, ATL Home Court, and Atlanta Hawks Nation that I just rejoined after a 5 or more year hiatus, unless it's another Atlanta Hawks Nation. Let's go back to 2017. That's about when the rebuild started. That's about when Travis Schlenk took over as the GM. It was the last year of Mike Budenholzer. And his first pick, I'm going to just go through the first round picks. I don't remember all the second round. The only really second round I remember is the guys we drafted this year: Mo Gay, Seth Lundy, and I remember Bruno Fernando um, in 2018. He happens to be on the Hawks now. You brought in John Collins. John Collins was the first pick. John Collins gave the Hawks 6 years, not spectacular years, but not bad years either. Um, played oh, played okay in the playoffs. He didn't make a whole hell of a lot of noise. He had a pretty decent series against the Sixers um, in the 2021 conference finals run. Gave him 6 years. We traded him to Utah, and he's starting there. And then you go to 2018. That was the year where we had 3 first rounders. We took Trae Young at 3rd or 5th, however you want to view the trade. Of course, we made the trade for Luka, and we also got the Cam Reddish pick the next year. You had Kevin Hurt at 19, and you had Amari Spellman at 30. Now, Amari Spellman was a missed pick. He was a missed pick. Kevin Huerter played 4 years, was a spot starter. He started more than he came off the bench. But when he came off the bench, he was the first or second guy off the bench. Provided good outside shot range. Not a plus defender, but he had size and a low length to supplement for his lack of defense. We traded him. All these people who I'm mentioning, the majority of them played well enough to get a second contract. You're just talking about bad front office moves. We traded him to Sacramento. Right now, we traded him for Mo Harkless, Justin Holiday, and now it's going to turn into a second round pick. If you want to consider that a bad front office move, go right ahead. I think that's a bad one. A lot of people were thinking that was a great one because they thought Sacramento was going to get into the top 8, and we would have got a 15th pick or something like that. Amari Spellman, like I said, we missed on that. The next year, we drafted DeAndre Hunter. We didn't draft. We did a draft day trade for DeAndre Hunter. He was the 4th overall pick. The Lakers took him. We traded the 8th pick, which turned out to be Jackson Hayes. And there was a whole lot of other shit going on with that trade. But nevertheless, the main players in that trade was Jackson Hayes, DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter has gave us 5 years as a starter. Issue with him is staying healthy, staying on the floor. But when he's there, he is the guy who 3 coaches has made the primary defender. Mad Mike, what's going on? Mad Mike says, I think this is an example of 2 ball dominant players. Clint Capella's time is up. I'm gonna get to that. If the Suns get bounced in the first round, I can see Booker warning out. They need a true point guard. Trade for Booker. Straight up, you think they do it? Match DJ with Booker and trade KD and Beal for the Suns. That could be a possibility. Chris, what's going on? Oh yeah, okay, got you. We'll get into that. That's not a bad trade idea. Um, we'll get into that. But back to the DeAndre Hunter. A lot of people, it's funny, he gets the ire of a certain group of Atlanta Hawks fans. I find it interesting. Um, I could go in a little differently, but um, it's a new show, new day. Later on in that draft, we drafted Cam Reddish. That was a mispick. I mean, he played 2 years and then he requested to be traded. The following year, we drafted Onyeka Okongwu at the 6th spot, and a lot of fans feel like he should be the guy to replace Clint Capella, but there's an issue with him. The same issue with DeAndre Hunter. But this is a guy who has been a rotational player, not a starter, and we took with the 6th overall pick, and he can't stay healthy. I can't blame the organization for drafting him. He needs to stay healthy. 2020 was Jalen Johnson. What? Now Jalen Johnson. Hold on. Onyeka Okongwu was 2020. I'm sorry. Hunter Reddish was 2019. 2021 was Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson is right now possibly the next face of the franchise if we move Trae Young. And the other two drafts, you got these guys inside less than 3 years. You got AJ Griffin, who has been a very big incomplete at this point for whatever reason. A lot of fans say he's not getting the burn, but when it's time for him to get burned, it's been either medical issues with him or personal problems or personal reasons with him. Hopefully he gets that together. And of course, this year we drafted Kobe Buffkin out of Michigan, who we could have saw more out of him, but he was hurt. I can't blame the organization for guys getting hurt. I can't do that. I mean, what the fuck? A lot of people blame Emory Healthcare. I'm like, y'all blame it. What you blame Emory Healthcare for? You can't blame him for getting hurt. What y'all gonna blame him for keep getting hurt? I don't think Emory Healthcare can do is help get them well and get them back on the court as soon as possible. Let's go to the free agent signings because we're speaking on bad front office movement or bad or good. The major free agent signings that we had was, I think we brought Bogey Bogdanovic, Danilo Gallinari, Lou Williams. It's safe to say that those were good free agent signings. All three of those guys were major players on the Eastern Conference Finals run team, and one of them still here right now, and he's been a spot starter, 6-man type of guy, and he's one of the best shooters in the league. Trades. Here we go. I just mentioned a couple of draft day trades. That was the two trades a year ago for Murray and Saddiq Bey. We gave up 2 first rounders in the and, and did a pick swap. We did a pick swap with the third pick. And we gave up 5 second rounders for Saddiq Bey. Saddiq Bey had a pretty decent year up until he got hurt. Tore his knee up. So now we're in a pickle because he's set to be a restricted free agent. And good chance ain't no team gonna throw no boatload of money at him while he's recovering from torn ligaments in his knee. So if nobody offers him, I don't know if I don't know how that goes. If nobody offers, I don't know if he turned into an unrestricted free agent or he comes back to us and we I guess he'll play it out with us. A lot of the front office moves that was made, a lot of stuff was demanded and requested by the fans. A lot of fans wanted Lloyd Pierce fired. The front office fired Lloyd Pierce. Nate McMillan was on Lloyd Pierce's staff. A lot of the fans welcomed Nate McMillan because they wanted Lloyd Pierce gone. Nate McMillan helped lead them to the conference finals, and then a year and a half later, he was fired because the fans wanted him gone. Now we have Quinn Snyder. We'll see how that goes. A lot of the fans wanted Travis Schlenk gone. Travis Schlenk is basically the guy who built the conference finals team. A lot of fans wanted him gone. Now we have Landry Fields and Kyle Korver and these other talking heads up there. A lot of the fans requested for guys like Kevin Huerter, John Collins, to be gone. We had DeLon Wright in here during the COVID year, played very well. A lot of fans felt like he wasn't scoring enough, even though he was playing. He was keeping his turnover rate down, and he was playing excellent defense. The organization obliged the fans, or a certain portion of the fans. So if the organization is making bad moves, they're listening to y'all. They listening to the fans. Now we're at a crossroads to where we got to make some moves. And I'm seeing a lot of people in the fan base say, yeah, everybody's available but A, or everybody's available but A and B, and everybody's available but A, B, and C. No, fuck that. When it gets to this point, nobody's safe. The window, brothers and sisters, has closed. Nobody's safe. I'm not defending nobody, nor am I advocating for anybody. Nobody's safe. If there's any thought of trading the face of the franchise, that means nobody else is safe. Because if I got to trade Trae Young, I mean anybody else can get it. Because what I'm about to do if I trade Trae Young is I'm about to lose some fans first of all, which is a good chance I'm about to lose some money. But if I'm willing to sacrifice doing that for this team to get where we need them to go, then nobody's safe. See, you can't demand for the GM to do his job, but then put restrictions and handcuffs on the GM when it's time for the GM to do his job. Now, I'm going to say that to say this. I'm simply saying when Landry Fields, who claims he has no, he's free to do whatever he wants to. When Landry Fields go in there and talk to folks, he don't need to go in there and talk to folks. He don't need to go in there saying, okay, I'm listening to anybody but Trae Young. Oh, no, I'm listening to anybody but Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. I'm listening to anybody but Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, and Jalen Johnson. No, fuck that. I'm listening to anything for everyone because anybody can get it after 3 straight years in the play-in. 2 of those years were first-round exits in 5 games. No. First year was 5 games to Miami. Second year was 6 games, which was last year to Boston. And this year we went out the back door as a 10 seed, and we finished the regular season 10 games under 500. Nobody is safe. The only reason why I say don't have thoughts or consideration of firing the coach is because if we fire Quinn Snyder at this point, that means we will start next year with 3. We will have to go at least 1 year paying 3 guys to do one job. Nate McMillan's contract isn't up until the end of next year unless it's something else that went on that I hadn't heard about. His contract is not up to the end of next year. He ain't took a job nowhere else, and I don't blame him. If I can sit at home and get paid, so be it. Quinn Snyder got 3 years left on his deal, and if we let him go, we will basically bring in a coach, and we'll be paying 3 coaches for 1 year and 2 coaches for at least 3 years. Other than that, nobody's safe. I don't care how they go about it, but significant changes need to be made. Look, we tried tweaking the roster. When we tweaked the roster, fans complain anyway. People keep having these pipe dreams of they need to go out there and get Trae some help. Well, help was here. Maybe not superstar, megastar type help. Help was here. When you had help, when you had a good mixture of youth and veterans, you made a conference finals run. Then when folks start, we traded Gallo in the Murray trade, but Gallo turned around and signed with Boston for pennies. We could have brought him back. Reddish asked to be traded. Fuck him. You don't want to be here? Fuck him. He gone. We let guys walk. Solo Hill who was an integral part of that team from a locker room standpoint and for the time he gave us on the floor. He went and took Cam Reddish straight. Tony Snell, integral part. We moved on from him. Lou Williams probably retired now. And I mentioned him before I mentioned DeLon Wright. We've had guys in here. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I'm going to say this. The same help or lack thereof Trae Young had when the ball was in his hands, DeJounte Murray had when Trae Young went out. And the team played significantly. If you didn't see this, you just wasn't trying to see it. The team played significantly better when the ball was in DeJounte Murray's hands. It was glaring, the difference. It really reared its ugly head in the play-in game against Chicago. We were down 18 after one quarter, and when Trae Young left the floor, we went on a 14-0 run with guys on the floor like Garrison Matthews, Wesley Matthews, Bruno Fernando, of course, and with the other regular guys, Hunter, Capella, Bogey. Moves need to be made, and drastic moves. We cannot go into next season making minimal to no moves. That's basically the front office telling us, the fans. I'm no longer blaming players at this point. And let me explain this, because a lot of people say that just to be saying it. I'm going to explain myself on this. We all see what the issues are. So front office, fix it. Or make an attempt to fix it. Landry Fields has no idea he's probably the next scapegoat or the next guy out the door. It's the reason why they're bringing all these other guys in the front office. The more guys you bring in the front office, the less power you hold as a GM. I get it. This is his first major GM job. But it's year 3 now, bro. You need to get it right. Southside say, yeah. And now I'm not trying to kill Trae because he was clearly not right with that left hand, and he still played anyway. He showed heart. Okay. He should have stayed his ass out. I get that. I'm not handing out moral passes. I hear you though, Southside, but I'm not handing out moral passes. Leave them. Just look. Leave them out. I'd have left them out. I would have left them out. And then if we make it out of the play-in, he wouldn't have played them last 4 games of the season. and he wouldn't have played in the play-in. If we make it out of the play-in and he's ready to go, that's more time for his hand to heal. Of course you bring him back. But I hear a lot of people using that hand as an excuse, and I understand where you coming from, but no. A lot of the shit that was going on with his hand at 50% was going on with his hand at 100%. That's my issue. And no, it ain't all on Trey. I ain't gonna say most of it is on Trey. It's a collective, whole lot of shit. Criticism can go for everybody. Again, nobody's safe. Moves need to be made. Period. The first move need to be made is to split that backcourt up. That need to be the first order of business. That ain't working. People come up with these elaborate trade packages that just don't make no fucking sense. A lot of people in the fan base want to get rid of Hunter and Capella because they ain't averaging 60 between the two of them. We were top 5 in offense and offensive points per game and offensive efficiency, folks. We were bottom 5 in defense. You're asking to trade 2 of the 3 best defenders on the team. Not many of them out there. But we were bottom 5 in defense. 28th to be exact, 27th or 28th. We were 5th in offense. We were 36 and 46, 47, counting the play-in loss to Chicago. And you think magically you can go out there and pop a trade by trading them and we're going to get better. But again, that ain't defense of them because nobody can get it. Foot was going on. Moves need to be made, and they need to be made now. Or whenever it's time to do whatever that's within the league guidelines. We don't need another team suffering from moving a little too quick like the Falcons are about to have to endure that I alluded to earlier. So my ire now as a fan goes to the front office. Y'all saw what happened? The front office the last 2 to 3 years. The fans are not happy. They destroying Trae Young on social media and in the media. And to me, as a Hawks fan, that's embarrassing because he's the face of my franchise. A good portion of the fan base feel like he's blameless. I see it. Mr. Foot, who just came on here, he sees it. They'll argue different, but we see the interaction and we see what's going on. Nevertheless, no time to be bullshitting, no time to be waiting. Landry Fields, Kyle Korver, and the rest of the talking heads, y'all on the clock, bro. We're going to go ahead on and wrap it up. Get ready for OG Big Sam to come up in here with the Monday morning with the OG. Again, make sure you hit them buttons. Make sure you subscribe. And my network, OGN TV, Six Man K Styles, Maggie T Productions, AFN. For the regulators, for the heavy hitters, for the Unholy Alliance. Also, make sure you subscribe to Truth with a 2 TV. Absolutely. Old head sick of it. But again, make sure you subscribe to Truth with a 2 TV. I'm your man, OG Truth with a 2, Hertz with a Z. And on Truth Be Told, we always seek and speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Y'all get on out there and let's chop it up with OG Big Sam. See you guys on Thursday. I'm sorry, see you guys tomorrow with the Realistic OGs, and on Thursday with the Exclusive World of Wrestling. Realistic OGs is 2 p.m. tomorrow. Exclusive World of Wrestling on Thursday. It's going to be 2 p.m. as well on Thursday. We'll see you guys.